Hi, hi everybody. So it's been a while since I posted any new video content. Been slaving away on actually doing the work, so it's a bit of a tough one. But as you can see, we got new projects arrived, so I'm going to give you a good look around that in this video and bring you up to date where we are with the other green one, which I started some time ago, and I haven't been doing updates for that because it's the same as the last green one I did, more or less. It's kind of the same green. Anyway, let's take a look at this one. So, you have to excuse the funny angle, by the way. I've got the front end on the ramp so we can have a good look underneath. So, for the uninitiated, this is the Citroen ME Super. Super, very important, because it says here this is the 1015 centimeter. Yeah, it's a 1000cc engine. So this is different from the ME8 because this has the 4-cylinder Citroen GS engine in the front, which, if you don't know, is a flat 4 air-cooled engine with 1000 cc's or thereabouts and about 55 horsepower, I think, something like that. This actually made this car quite speedy, and there's a few other mods on here like anti-roll bars front and back, which make it quite different from the normal driving experience for one of these cars. So this is a little project that my brother has bought, and he's brought it here so that we can actually get some of the work done because, yeah, guess what? There's some rust. Yeah. So, of course, this one is a 1974, for those of you who know the plates work. And this has been unused for about the last 8 or 9 years, which you can probably tell when we come to have a look at this. But it's a pretty good start, I've got to say, just from my quick look around. We have actually had the engine running, and if you follow any of the stuff that I do on Facebook, you'll have seen it starting up and smoking like a chimney. We'll get more into that as we go through the whole process. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to take the camera, I'm going to give you a good old look around and see what we've actually got here in the package. Okay, I'm just going to walk around, so we're going to start at the back, just to make a change. So things are pretty good here in the tailgate area, and the roof looks fine. We had a little shower just now and I was trying to bring it in, so it's just got a little wet. And we have stainless steel bumpers on these cars, so even stainless steel lights. So no chance of these things actually rusting. No, it might rush a little bit. We'll have to see. You can see also that somebody's put a new wing on that at some point. It does look like it was actually a kind of new old stock wing, but didn't get any paint, so it's gone nice and rusty. So other than that, this doesn't look too bad. A bit of the old rot down there. Look, yum. We'll have a good dig into that. Oh, when I tipped it up, it decided to have a little wee on the floor out of its exhaust pipe. It's still dripping. So yeah, probably a good job we tipped it up. I won't get inside the boot yet. We'll do inside in a bit. Let's walk around. So we've got our wing there. We have the extra special super duper slotted wheels. Yeah, that's how cool this car is. So there's a bit of rot in the door there. We've got the super speedy stripes, which make it go so much faster. It's all pretty good here. These cars have a real tendency to rot under the gutter of the roof here, and this one is no exception. There's definitely some rot going on there. So we'll have to dig into that and see what's going on. These were posh because they had wind-up windows at the front, but slidey windows at the back with a little cool locking barrel mechanism here. You just twist this little knob here and the little pin comes out and that locks the window. So no one can steal your car. Oh no, look, rust. So going round towards the front, things are much the same. Seems to be a bit of a bash in the bottom of this door. It's a bit bent over. Yeah, we'll fix that. And of course, look, there's lovely stuff down there. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, we'll have a good prod at that in a minute. Let's just stick to looking at the top. So around the top of the windscreen in the gutter area, we've definitely got a bit of rot going on there. Nice bit of rot there. If I get up onto the top here, you can see right down the gutter there that it's not particularly clean, and it certainly isn't very clean as we go around the front here, and that rot is going to have to be sorted. Lovely. Right. Yeah, those seats might need a bit of work too. Looking round towards the front, this wing's in good nick, so we're okay with that one. The front panel generally looks pretty good to me. I do notice a couple of things though. I'm not quite sure what's going on inside the headlight here. I don't know if you can see that. So there's some sort of is that part of the lens in there? That sort of yellowy orangey bit that you can see. I don't know. Somebody stick something in the comments. Maybe that'll help. I think these bits are also stainless, which is why that's not rusty. Somebody's definitely been in here with a stone chip at some point. This car has been painted before, and somebody stuck some nice screws in here to hold the grille on. The super grille with the super line across it to show how super it is. And we of course have the extra air vents as well that are required for the amazing amount of additional horsepower that we've got. Again, the stainless steel in the bumper is pretty good. Not quite sure what's happening here. We'll have to dig into that a little bit more. And one of these bumper irons is a bit skew-whiffy. Other than that, it's pretty good. The bonnet lid itself is maybe not so great. There's a quality bit of filling going on there. Yeah, we'd have to do something about that. There is a spare bonnet for this car, so we might get a look at that. Moving around, continuing. This wing also in pretty good shape. There is a little bit of... oh dear. Yeah, well, there's definitely some rot there. Okay. The wing, the rest of the wing doesn't look too bad. Bit scabby, but hopefully there's some salvageable stuff going on there. And you can see across the bottoms of the doors on this side is much the same as the other side. It's just, the rust has started to get in there. A little bit on the top as well, just under the trims. Not too difficult though. When we get to the back here, things get slightly interesting. We do have a few panel alignment issues with the back wing. Yeah, we'll have to find out what's going on with that and why that's gone funny. I do remember that these seem to have a habit of rotting right around the fuel cap, but this one looks great. So there's a good blessing. The rest of the tailgate looks pretty good, although we've got some oxidizing here around the aluminium hinge. So it doesn't look too bad there. Okay, let's have a look under the bonnet. So things are quite different from the standard AMI 8 under here, because this engine is 4-cylinder. Is the GS engine from the early GS, the 1015cc engine. Even has the early GS air filter in it, but it's this is all pretty standard fare for the GS, but I think that is also there's also the GS gearbox that we've got sitting in the back here, although somebody will tell me if that's not the case, but I think it is. I don't think it's 2CV one. It's definitely not a 2CV one. So it's just also had some electronic ignition unit fitted. You can probably see down there the distributor, and next to it in the middle of the picture there is the amplifier. So that should help with starting, although today it didn't want to start. It did yesterday. You've got some quite different... By the way, this black pipe here is just a drain for the air intake here. Just has a drain on the bottom of it, and the drain just goes out the wing. It's nothing more exciting than that. You've got the handbrake mechanism here at the back, and you've got your bottle for your brake fluid, which is green, of course, because we're running discs. And then you've got your, I don't know what you call that, heater box. This actually has a fan inside the heater box in here. A fan. Posh. I think it's only got one speed though. The battery hold down needs to be looked at. Need a bit of work on that. The inner wings themselves actually look in fairly good shape, I would say. Certainly should clean up quite nicely. That's by the way, that's the fuel tank at the moment. There's not much fuel left in it, but I'm running this. I was running this yesterday just to get us started up. But the good news is that the fuel pump works, so that's happy days. Let me just move over to the other side. And give you a slightly different view of the engine bay. Things look pretty good here, it has to be said. This inner wing is also quite good. There's something been going on in the corner here because someone's had the paintbrush out. But it looks like the inner wings, the inside of the outer wings have been brushed as well. So that'll want a bit of work. And down there, that white tube that you can see with the kink in it, that's our front anti-roll bar, because that is one of the cool parts of this car. There are a few challenges, I think, with the exhaust. We're going to need to do something about finding replacement for some of these items, because it seems to be held together with tin cans at the moment. Anyway, she's looking pretty good down here. Going underneath, I think it would be fair to say that there's a bit of oil down here. But the front of the chassis and these bumper irons here, they look in good shape. I think partly because of the amount of oil down here. I think we can see, if I bring my other torch over, help to see what's going on. You can see there's plenty of oil and grease going on around here. It looks fairly good. Now let's climb right down here, see what we've got. Oh, I'm going to swivel around onto my back a bit. There's one of our exhaust repairs we need to get into. The gearbox looks pretty damp. Chassis in its original brown paint. And if I can get, let me get the other torch and see if I can try and improve the light here a bit. That's the front bulkhead up there, and this is the normal area where things start getting expensive. And I must say that it actually does look pretty good. If we look right up in there at the, oh, can I get in there? Everything is very wet all the way down. This is probably upside down for you, but for me it's kind of the right way up, right the way down too. the back. So yeah, things don't look too bad. Right, let's move around. I'm figuring that by now that you're probably sick to death of hearing about how good this car is. So let's have a look at some stuff that isn't good. If I can get in there. Oh, look at that! That's lovely and crusty. That is. So this inner wing. I can't get it on the pin yet. This inner wing here, this area does not look great. It is very thick with underseal, which we'll need to scrape off. You can see there that how the if I can come out a little bit, try and get a decent picture. You can see there how the anti-roll bar mounts onto the shock absorber mounting at the front here. Quite simple, straightforward idea that. And if we go, just going to move the camera around a little bit. As we go along here, you can see just what sort of state the floors are in. They are pretty rotten, it's got to be said. We have much larger suspension cans on this model than you have on your standard 2CV. Much bigger cans. Ooh, what's that guy? What have we got going on there? Interesting flappy bit. And then at the back here you can see how the anti-roll bar is fitted to the rear trailing arm. Let me try and get in. Just so I see the chassis back there. That looks pretty good there. They do tend to rust around that mounting point that you can see just there. But this one looks good actually. I am encouraged. Damn my positivity today. Alright, let's get back here and start looking at some filthy rust. So we've got a nice jacking point here which looks rusty. If I get as far as I can right under here, you can see actually there's quite a bit of the floor is pretty good, but I think this is yeah, that's like the stone chip stuff and it's just peeling off. But the steel underneath it is really good. Yeah, I'd kind of be ashamed to have to replace all of that, but you can see at the front here where someone's put a flipping great plate on it. So something will have to be done. Something has to be done. The area at the back here, I can't get the camera in there. Can I? Let me try get this. I can't actually see this. I'm just holding the camera around the corner, so you're getting the first view. There's certainly some. Sorry. Da, 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 da. Get me fixed. So this is more of the underseal just peeling off and revealing. Super sound bit of floor there. Yeah, damn it. It's not as rusty as we'd like, is it? That little bit always rusts out on 2CVs, just on the edge of the wheel well, and that looks actually pretty good there. Yeah. So we're on the near side if you're in the UK, and left side if you're anywhere else. I think you can see here the inner wing is not quite so pleasant on this side. I'm hoping all of that rust will clean up reasonably well, although there may be some patching required, but you can see it's really, really thick. So that's either doing a fabulous job of protecting what's underneath or hiding horrors. We'll have to find out, won't we? Under here, you can see that what they've been using on that. Looks like bathroom sealer or something. Yeah, this could be worse. The jacking point looks like it's had better days. And if we move along under here, you can see the floor is falling to bits and has been patched quite a few times. Again, if we get right over the back, oh, hang on, I can't get the right angle on here. Yeah, there we go. That's the chassis rail right in the background there, and again it's quite heavily covered in crap, but it doesn't look too bad. And if we look under here, you can, oh, hang on, try and get the light on it. You can see the axle bolts going through there, and this is the area where I always have the most concerns about the state of a chassis, but you can see it's all covered in oil, so that's probably really done a great job of preserving the whole thing. But we will have to clean all of this up. So the outrigger here looks like it's just about disappeared. Same story with the rubber seal, the stone chip or whatever you call it, is peeling away. A Jubilee clip on the exhaust there for some reason. Interesting. Moving along. You can see here that we definitely have issues on the sills, so we'll be fitting some new sills for sure. And the bottoms of the doors are generally a bit manky, but yeah, we'll manage. This section here looks, so I'll get it on the camera, this section here for the jacking point looks quite rusty. I don't know if it actually is rusty. I've got the sun coming in my eye, so it's hard to see. There we go, sorry. There we are. So, I'm not sure if that's been patched before or not. I have to dig into that. In other areas, in other news, that's interesting. Wasn't expecting to find that. Looks like, oh, there we go. Looks like we have a brake compensator for the rear brakes. That is definitely not a 2CV item. That is super posh. Wow. Hope it works. You can see here that somebody's been busy. So we're going to have to fix that up. And this area here actually doesn't look too bad. And you can see going up inside the wheel well, that someone's been in here before with the red oxide and cleaned that up, so we will do the same. And if I go across, there we go, you can see there the Emmy Super tank, which is super big actually, the size of that. And appears to have a drain plug in it, and I believe that this tank is empty. Right, I've chucked a bit of oak underneath the back of it so I can lift the whole thing up squarely. So that's what that big lump is. So I'm now looking at things from the back. So quick look at all of that would tell you that it's a big old fuel tank. There is a reasonable amount of rust down here. Let's dig into it. So let's start by having a look up these wheel wells. You can see where someone's been in there and given it a bit of a clean up. So I shall get in there as well. There's some patchwork going on there. Everything looks surprisingly good under the floor here. This cross member here looks pretty good, it's got to be said. Let's see, that's it going above the fuel tank. Again, chassis rails look pretty good. Seems to have had a tow bar at some point. Hopefully they weren't towing it off that exhaust bracket out of someone's Meccano set. And you've got a rear cross member that goes across here as well. And again, that looks pretty good. I think most of this rust down here is pretty superficial, although that doesn't look quite so superficial. But, you know, the corners don't look too bad, except for where there seems to have been a bit of welding going on here. So I think that's probably not so good. So I'll look at the other side. Getting up in the wheel well, things look fairly good up here. I'd say the floor of the boot looks okay. A little bit of rot on the top of it, top of this cross member, but mostly very good. Yeah, that wing definitely looks like a new item, new old stock item. There's no rot in that at all. Although the leg itself, once again, doesn't look too bad, but, you know, I expect when I get a screwdriver out, things will get a bit more interesting. These little sort of brackets for holding the body to the chassis are quite interesting, aren't they? And again, we've got that cross member that goes over there, which is kind of hard to see. So yeah, there we go. The tailgate itself doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of rot up in the corner here, but most of it looks actually in pretty good shape, which is nice. Yeah, this bit you would think would be rotten, because it's obviously quite a good water trap. Actually looks very good. Some of the little seams on the tailgate need opening up and de-rustifying. So everything down here pretty good. You can see here that there's been a repair where they put a new piece of steel in behind here, but didn't actually cut the rust out. You can see all the spot weld marks. Okay, don't know what's going on there, but we will find out. This repair to the usual rust area clearly needs a bit of work. It's obviously had a new piece of steel let in there, but yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened after that. So that needs a little bit of work. I think this, yeah, you can see the other side of that we looked at earlier. There's been a bit of a repair going on here, but it needs some work. The other side, it's hard to get at because I've got a load of rubbish in here that needs to clear out. There's yeah, same problem on that side. Actually, looks pretty good. I'm not quite sure how it's put together. Perhaps somebody can say in the comments how this is done. But this headlining would appear to be a bit of, you know, soft, I don't know, it's foamy cardboard or cardboardy foam with the vinyl stretched over it. But doesn't look too bad. Probably clean up. And I come up noticing this wonderful spring for the wiring. Like that, it's clever, isn't it? Can you see that? It's hard to see. Yeah. There's still quite a few parts and what have you in here. There's some new old stock bits. That's obviously the rear light housing. There's a bumper iron. It might be a front one by the look of it, which would be helpful. Oh, there's two, look. So that might be handy. And there's two of these. I saw the other one earlier somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where that goes, but I'm sure that's going to be a useful repair panel. Somebody will tell me. We've got the very important super stripy hubcaps. We've got those in the back here, and there's a whole load of other bits and bobs in here which I'll have to get into. So in terms of other things, so this pillar doesn't look too bad. There's a bit of rust here, but I don't know how deep that goes. There's a repair that's been done before here which will have to go. I think it's fair to say that the sills are probably shot. Bottoms of the B pillars look pretty good, which is nice. Moving around, you see that the sill on this side is definitely less than prime. It's been patched a few times by the look of it, so we'll have to repair that. You can see in that corner the slightly bent door frame. I think I can probably straighten that out, so not going to worry too much about that. And moving up the A pillar, someone's been going a bit mad with the underseal. You can see from the floors here that things are fairly good in the bulkhead area. So that's all good, but not so great in the floor area. Yeah, we've got reclining seats in this model, and one of the other aspects of the super poshness. So let's go around the other side and take a look at those parts before we, the floor parts, before we dig into some of the other things. And again, you can see the sills at it. There's some filler in here, which is probably hiding a few nasties. And the wing isn't connected, so there must be a proper bracket that is missing here. The rear part of the floor, I know you can't see it because there's loads of stuff in here, but the rear part of the floor actually looks pretty good. Ooh, I've got a spare handbrake. That'll come in handy if we need two handbrakes. Bottom of this door, not too bad. Yep, that's not too bad. Bottom of the driver's door, again, not too bad. Probably clean up. Less super about the Ami Super is the sill again. So yeah, that's not great. There's big old box sections under the seats again here. Did we look? Yeah, and you can see that the front floor is at it. So hopefully we're going to find that when we get all of this out of the way, that there isn't a big issue going on down here. This is the top plate for the chassis. We need to make sure that we haven't got any rot going on there. The slightly worrying aspect of that being this patch here that's been put on. There's quite a few patches here, but yeah, that one that drifts all the way over towards the centre is obviously a bit of a concern, because we want to be sure that the chassis is good in that location. Further up in here, we do seem to be fairly okay, although I noticed that there's a protrudence. Something's protruded in that area. You can't see it terribly well on the camera. That's something's poked up from underneath there. Not quite sure what. The rest of it looks fairly flat. There is a hole in the corner, but it's to be expected. The other side of the floor had a similar protuberance. Can you see that on the? So there's something going on there. Need to discover what it is. I mean, it doesn't appear that the chassis is in any way deformed, which might be causing something underneath to be touching on it. So I don't know. That is a bit of a puzzler. Yeah. Okay. So in other senses, we've got. Oh, sorry. In other areas, we've got our button down here for our heater fan. We've got a button for a heated rear window, I guess. And then ow. Moving inside, we have a very cool looking Speedo. 110. I'm looking forward to that. And we have our 3 warning lights down here and our heater controls. One of the warning lights appears to be missing. Choke. And then the ashtray is in the non-ashtray position. Gear lever on the floor on this, of course, and the what would be your gear lever on your 2CV is now a handbrake. Things around the front here are pretty good. This all should clean up quite nicely. Little bit of, if you can see that, get it to focus. Bit of rust along the top of the door frame here, which I'll need to investigate. Other than that, I think it looks pretty good. Might do something about seats though.